and style today because it needed it. Every once in a while, a girl's got to do that, and it was pretty good. She added a little red to it. My my wave to the my ginger friends out there. I'm gonna try to keep this brief. Hubby is bringing home sandwiches, so I don't know what. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about just some stuff. Okay, first off, y'all know the rules here, so I don't have to repeat them. Second of all, let's see. Theories about Indiana Jones 5. First off, there is a title out there floating around that apparently was taken off Reddit. And now it's on one of the production vehicles in, hey Vader fan, hey Matt Prana, one of the production vehicles up in Yorkshire. Okay, Northumberton, Yorkshire, whatever they call it. Indiana Jones and the Empire of Evil. Now, brings up a whole, idea on what this could be about. I have a theory that there's this thing called Die Glocke. The Austrian firearm, the Glock. Well, this is called D-I-E, which is the feminine of, if you have a feminine noun, you would say D. Der would be masculine, das would be neuter, die Glocke, and it means the bell. And there was a mythology out there that the Germans were working on this energy machine that would make unlimited energy, whatever, maybe even a time machine. And it might have bearing, but there has to be an ancient artifact involved for it to actually really be an Indiana Jones, story. I mean, it has to involve archaeology, and I'm trying to figure out what that could be. I have seen location lists where it lists Tunisia and Sicily, which that makes you go, oh, okay, now I understand. This may involve and be connected to Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade and Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know, but Tunisia is, of course, the stand-in for Egypt, and John Rhys Davies is on the cast list. Hi, Sin and Dave. Oh, cool. That's great. Good job. So we have to kind of sit back and go, what could this be about? Thanks. I'm going to, I normally like it straightened. She went kind of nuts. I just pulled it back in barrettes. I'm going to work out after I see you guys, talk to you guys. Anyway, I'm going to make a theory, and I reserve the right to change it depending on what more stuff that we get. That Mads Mikkelsen is either a runaway German scientist that broke away from NASA and is out looking for this thing, and the Russians want to find him so they can get it, and the CIA recruits Indy to go find it. Okay. Or it's out there and the CIA has Mads Mikkelsen, Herr Doctor, whatever his name is, and they need Indy to help find it with him. Okay. And I'm going to say this right now. Thomas Kretschmann is a Soviet agent. That's what he's playing. And I'm sticking by that. I'm sticking by that. But thing about it is, it involves Operation Paperclip, Senator Dave, because I just saw a thing, some leaked stuff, and it's Mads Mikkelsen in what looks like to be a German Wehrmacht uniform. I don't know if it's real or not, but he looks pretty good. I mean, he looks real. I mean, he looks like a jackass, like they all did. But or And now, if India has to team up with him, it's going to be a little bit of an emotional. There's going to be a going on there. I do believe that no matter how this goes, Mickelson ends up doing an Elsa. He thinks he's got it. He can do what he wants with it. We've got this. We have this, and he dies. Okay. Imagine a guy who's not really a Nazi. I mean, he's a member of the Nazi Party, but he's a nerd. He's a science geek. All he does, all he lives for, is figuring out how to make a rocket go fire and go boom. That's it. That's what he does. He's a physicist, an astronomer. He is a total techno geek, and he has no ideological whatever. He's basically the male version of Elsa. Okay, so I don't know, but it's looking very interesting to me. Trying to figure out, hey, Broomcock. But it just looks very intriguing, to say the least. Anyway, and we've got other things going on in that. You know, there's a lot of real, servant to science. It's all going to be very interesting, but I think this movie might actually be pretty good. Now, it could be a time machine. Maybe this guy thinks if he goes back in time, he can save the Reich. Or maybe he's like, if we don't find it, the Russians, blah, blah, blah. Because let's put it this way. Indy may be caught between asshole number one and asshole number two. Okay? And if you know anything about history, you know one thing. The Russians sucked as bad or worse. Okay? Stalin, I'm going to say this, and this is a historical fact. When the Germans in 1941 stupidly invaded the Soviet Union, thank God, they uncovered mass graves of Ukrainians that Stalin purposely starved because they didn't want to follow the program. Okay, he starved, they say 20 million people. I remember seeing William Buckley claim that there were 60 million people buried out there amongst whatever, I don't know. I mean, Stalin famously said, one death is a tragedy, 1,000 are a statistic. Okay. And he also said, no, I'm going to paraphrase. The best way to solve a man's problem is with a bullet. And it's like, I mean, that guy was, unlike Hitler, with the way the Nazis couched things in disinfection and moving east. You know what I'm saying? They couched things in words. Stalin was very blatant about it. Okay, very blatant. So this is going to be very, very, very weird and cool. I think this is going to be a good show. You've got pictures of a stunt man on a motorcycle, and I think the stunt went wrong and he actually kind of hurt himself. He's okay. I don't know if the cycle's okay, but he's okay. And when you see him from a distance and he's got that mask on, you think you're looking at Harrison Ford at about the age of 44. It's like, I mean, it's good. It's really, I mean, they're pulling out all stops. Now, first off, and I'm gonna mention this, Midnight's Edge had Edward James Olmos and Lou Diamond Phillips and the rest of the cast of Stand and Deliver, and as many as they could get, on today for a charity stream for the Latino Theater Company in Los Angeles. Edward James Olmos, the first time I remember seeing him was in Blade Runner. And that character that he played, you didn't get to see him much. But Gaff is basically the guy who he's the key to the story. Because if you remember at the end of Blade Runner, he would fold these little animals in paper and leave them places. And at the end of Blade Runner, when Deckard is trying to get Rachel out and escape, he looks down the floor of the hallway by his apartment and sees a little unicorn. Deckard in, I think, a different, the cut where the unicorn shows up, it should have been the origami unicorn. It should have been in the movie, but it wasn't. The thing about it is, how does he know? Because Gaff left it there. How does he know that Deckard was dreaming about unicorns? You remember the pictures of the family on the piano. Yes, he did. He was alluding to, without saying it, that Deckard is also a replicant. Okay? And there's a moment in Blade Runner when Harrison Ford first meets Sean Young. And for an instant, you can see his eyes, the retinas of his eyes shine. And that was an indication that you're not talking to a human, you're talking to a replicant. And the big debate has always been, is Deckard a human or replicant? Now, granted, Harrison Ford, I think, doesn't agree with that. Deckard's human. And Ridley Scott's like, no, he's a replicant. So you've got the director and the lead actor going like that. I find it intriguing. Because when you watch Blade Runner 2049, he obviously aged quite a bit. What kind of a replicant is he? If he is, it's just really just mind-boggling, because when if he is a replicant, okay, but if he's not, or if he doesn't, he literally does not know. That's the key to the whole thing. And Gaff is the only one who knows besides Terrell. All right. And that's a pretty cool kind of thing. Anyway, that's the first time I ever saw Edward James Olmos in anything. And I loved it. I thought he was great. He was so kind of creepy, and he came up with that weird language. When, he comes up to Deckard while he's trying to eat. And it's like, what in that? Who is this guy? Just, awesome. So anyway, congratulations to those guys, because it was a great show. I was sitting in the salon waiting for the color to set at City Speak, yep. And listening to the show and monitoring the chat, and it was fabulous. And Lou Diamond Phillips, my favorite character he's ever played is Henry Standing Bear in Longmire. So it was pretty cool. The fact that they actually got to hang out, and it's really interesting though when you see those guys and you realize they're just human. Oh my God, and they're talking about maybe getting a Blade Runner reunion. And if that's the case, that would be awesome. I don't think they get Harrison Ford, but if he showed up, I'd be like, I wouldn't, if I, let's say if I was on the panel, I'd be like, in the background, I'd have to mute myself and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Hey, old redneck nerd. Anyway, wanted to congratulate them on that, because this is great. It was just awesome. So let's go to my explorations into Twitter world. So I checked out some stuff, mocked a few Raylos today, and mocked them, and went and looked at Pablo Hidalgo's wife's Twitter. If I remember right, she listed Lucasfilm, and it's not on her Twitter anymore, if I remember right. So I went to LinkedIn, and she still has Lucasfilm to present. But when I go through what you can see on there, I can't find her anywhere. So here's a little thing for you guys to surmise. She was the localization coordinator for, thanks, Lawrence, She was a localization coordinator for Lucasfilm for San Francisco. She basically, I think, did events. And she's very belligerent right now on Twitter. Very. I'm going to say this after seeing what's going on with Pablo's Twitter account, that she's probably gone to or on her way out. And really, if anybody actually has any way of contacting us, letting us know, please, please contact Doomcock, contact Midnight's Edge, contact me, Stephanie Janisek 68 at protonmail.com, and let me know. Okay, I am dying to find out. Because again, like I said, if Pablo's gone, then it's all falling apart. And because if, like I said, like Spen said before, if KK's gone, they're all gone. The story group is done. Now, when I was going through it, Rain Roberts is still listed, and she's still on the list, on the Lucasfilm list. But that's a name to look for. Okay. Carrie Beck isn't going anywhere because she basically started working with Filoni, and she's not going anywhere, which is fine. I don't care. But there's a lot happening right now. Okay. All these little indications. Oh, and The Mandalorian has been moved up for filming after Kenobi later this year. Okay, it hasn't been canceled. Like the Black Jedi said, it has been moved up. Pedro Pascal said that. And the excuses were, and these are excuses because I think it has more to do with Kennedy than anything else, that Pascal wasn't available and Kenobi was using up the set. Okay, I believe that. And of course, we had Taika Waititi's statement that his movie was up in the air because of Lucasfilm restructuring. Please tell me how there isn't any smoke now. Okay? Please. All right? There are a lot of stupid people out there. And I will call them that. You're stupid if you don't at least give these. Well, I know. I mean, these guys don't know. It wasn't that long ago that we all thought that Indy 5, that Doomcock reported that it wasn't even going to be happening. Okay. And I had to tell him, hey, they've got more cast members showing up. So it's happening. That's one thing that he got wrong. But I also think he put stuff out there to see who's telling the truth or not. Okay. Indy 5, is an indication. Like I said before yesterday, Kennedy is there, 100% into producing this movie. She wasn't for any of the movies that came out for Star Wars, none. And, I'm going to say this. Where her heart is, and that's production of something that she wants to be part of. She had no desire to be anywhere near Star Wars. She left other people to do it, and they did a shitty job. Okay. And that was her fault. She's incompetent. We're going to get a storm, and I knew it. I could see it coming. Cool. This is all just very, very interesting to me right now because we're watching a lot of stuff happen in front of our faces, and the people should be able to see for what it is, and they can't. you gotta spend some time if you're curious in on this stuff. And you know, if you're a Star Wars fan, you should care. And if you don't care, then don't talk about it. All right. But yeah, I mean, I distinctly remember Man Ray Sky, Kristen Hidalgo, making sure that her employment was listed on her Twitter account. And it's not there anymore. All right. But on her LinkedIn, she hasn't updated that yet. You know, I also know that she's blocking people on LinkedIn from seeing because I couldn't find her on my LinkedIn. So I had to go in a different way. But she's still there. All right. This is, again, going to be a bumpy ride. All right. I am waiting for the dam to break. You know, somebody posted out there on Twitter, you know, with everything going on at Lucasfilm, why haven't Variety, Deadline, Hollywood, Deadspin, or the Hollywood Reporter done any investigating and you know, finding out why hasn't Grace Randolph said a word? And she was a yippity yappity chick. Remember that? I remember that. Yeah, I saw that. So the Book of Boba Fett's supposed to be Mando 2.5. Okay. As far as I can tell, Andor is still filming. And I'm going to say this again, Han Solo's going to be in it. I know Saw Gerrera is going to be in it. I could care less about that. That's part of the story I don't care about. That's a character I don't like him. You know, someone that's that fanatical, you know, I don't really care about. But yeah, this is, I mean, I'm telling you right now, this is, something's going on. And every little bit that I find out, I think might be another piece of the puzzle. Okay. But again, I don't know if Kristen Hidalgo has left Lucasfilm, but I don't see her talking about it. They're all very quiet. And what she does post is very militant, hardcore militant left. I mean, she's a fanatic. She's nuts. I mean, she's, you know, American re-education camp. Here's the Constitution. Learn it, read it, live it. You know, she's batshit. So, but I don't know. Again, there. I'm confoozled. So, what do you guys think? I, you know, we got Doomcock going in for surgery next week, and nothing out there really happening that, you know, is really going on. I mean, it's kind of dead for all the great, you know, rumor mongering and stuff like that we all like to do because I like to do it. I do. I like to do it. I have a sleeping dog right here. Here, let's look at Kojak. Are you CP boy? Hi, Kojak. This is literally kind of the dream. You have an energetic puppy, and they just want to hang out, and they're tired, and they just want to just sleep. Because he was up in the bedroom tearing around and doing doggy whirls on his bed and then on our bed, and you know, we had zoomies going all over the place, and I was getting a little mad at him. Tell him to stop. Just so anyway, but going back to Indiana Jones. Well, you know, every little bit that I see, uh, who are you again? Every little bit that I see, oh yeah, there is Fire Center, Dave. I want to talk about. Okay, so it might be boring for you, but it's just another indication. Okay, and you know, it's got. I'm waiting for it to come public. I can't believe no one within the trade papers have gone, what's going on at Lucasfilm? And done any digging. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go on record to say this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And if it goes into Variety or Hollywood Reporter, Deadspin or Deadline Hollywood, I mean, at least it's in a legit place. It gets a little bit boring for me too. But when I see somebody like Kristen Hidalgo basically remove her employment with Lucasfilm from her Twitter bio, it's very interesting to me because I distinctly remember it being there. Okay. You know, oh, well, I'm trying to figure out, I can't, I don't, I'd have to sit there and look at it a little while to figure that one out, dude. But anyway, back to Indy 5. I think this is going to be really good. I really, really do. I really, the more stuff comes out, tentative title is Indiana Jones and the Empire of Evil, because it's on one of the vehicles and that's part of the production. And that could either be about the Nazis or the Russians, because the Russians were referred to as the evil empire. And, I hate to tell any diehard Democrats or leftists, but it's true, they were. I mean, what do you want to do? Deny history? You can't. You really can't. So, we just got to think about what's happening. Now, oh, hey, Debbie, how you doing? MPO? What does that mean? What's going on? I don't get it. My birthday is a week from tomorrow. And I'm not saying how old I am. But you probably can figure it out because I've said how old I was before. So, that Friday, I'm going to be a little bit busy. Going to a really nice restaurant. Hopefully tomorrow, we get to buy my Christmas or my birthday present. Oh, hey, Mama Bear's in the house. So Debbie, we were talking about more Pablo Hidalgo indications that he's no longer at Lucasfilm. Oh yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Oh my God. And we're also talking about Indiana Jones 5 and what it could be about. And I'll give you anybody who's like, I saw a bunch of pictures together in a collage of Mads Mikkelsen in a Wehrmacht officer's uniform. I saw a bunch of other things, like a building that looked like it had been torn apart and blown up. And a thing that looked like it could be some sort of machine. And it's called Diglaka. Okay. And if you go to Wikipedia and look it up, go look it up. Hey, Wiki's Lives Matters. Go look it up. It's there. You'll see that it was there's actually a historical reference to something called Diglaka that the Germans were working on that was supposed to create unlimited energy, something like that. Die Glocke means the bell. If in German there are three nouns: neuter, which go das Boot, which is the boat, or das Boot. Der der would be masculine, and die would be feminine. So it's literally the bell. And there's a picture of it, and it kind of looks like one of the capsules that we used to orbit the Earth that came back, if you know what I mean. They fished them out of the water. John Glenn was in it. Alan Shepard. Even the one that eventually brought the Apollo astronauts back. Okay. It looks like that, shaped like this and like that. It looks like a bell. But this thing was supposed to be a machine that created energy and whatever else. And I surmise, if it's about that it might not necessarily be about a time machine, because I think that would just be, okay, a little bit, please don't go there. I think what it might be though, is something, and there has to be a historical archaeological artifact connected. So we've got a location list as being Tunisia. Indy goes to Tunisia to see Salah, or Egypt, because Tunisia is a stand-in for Egypt. And John Rhys Davies is in it. Hi, buddy. Hi, Kojak. Hi, how you doing? So I think there's going to be elements from World War II, and there's going to be elements from archaeological, historical artifacts, ancient. Probably back to Egypt, because the Egyptians are so whatever. Anyway, I gotta go. So I'll talk to y'all later. See you later. Bye.